Morning guys, it is Tuesday. Another successful get up and go this morning. It is 13 minutes to 8 and the whole team is out. So that's what we want. We don't want to be eating into 8 o'clock there on after. Try and get to the job site for 8 and get a start. Good to see things are getting a bit more efficient amongst the chaos. Doesn't feel efficient sometimes, but it must be if we're getting out that early. Kyle is very much more the maintenance side of the business. After the sort of feedback and forums and discussions that we had earlier on in the year, Kyle very much made it clear that he prefers doing the maintenance, the more garden related plants, etc. So I made it one of my goals to try and accommodate him as much as I can with that. I wish I got it on camera, but the guy surprised me with a wee birthday cake. I came to site. I've not seen them obviously this morning, but came to site and they're like, oh, they've broken the wall around here. I'm like, what wall? Walked around in here. Here's Damien holding the cake. So that was really nice of them. Really appreciated that, to be honest. Hello folks, welcome back to a new video. It's Monday, we're in the office and I've actually had a pretty good head start to the week. Spent about an hour in here getting back to emails and getting some quotes out and just that proactive sort of first hour of the day getting things organised. And yeah, it's hopefully going to be a good week ahead. Got the project that we started last week that we'll be continuing on with, the regular grass cuts of course, and a variety of other things on the go. So we will take you along in the journey. This is the boys just arriving now. Or is he taking the roller more as well? So all consumables, string line, good crack. Don't know, like. You're local enough anyway, so you can just nip and get it. But if you do get time at the end of the day, see how you get on, but try and get loaded up like petrol for tomorrow. Try and just fuel everything up. But yeah, obviously from last week everything was fine, so just carry on that momentum through and good feedback from customers and stuff, so just keep that going. Are you good to go?
They were digging in my bin, my ash bin from the fire, mixing it with soil and selling it off as fertilizer, £10 a packet.
Innovation, like potting compost, not pot. Right, cool, I'll see you in a bit. So it's 7:57 and that is the guys, the last lot just heading out, so turnaround's getting a lot quicker. Most of the guys were out at 10:02, which is good. Grass cutting days are always pretty quick out the door because we know what we're doing, because it's regular, so we know machines, what we need. Could get better at getting fuel organised and stuff like that the night before, etc. But we make it work. There's a lot of things to make it more efficient and stuff, so we will do that over time. But yeah, we've got 3 vans out. This van's in the yard. It would have been good to get that out, but unfortunately with like the insurance for the young drivers, we've got any driver over 25 policy plus young drivers like myself and Damien. Damien's been on it since I had the policy, but for like Joe and Aaron and stuff, they're not on the policy yet, so they always have to tie in with someone. But it would have been nice to get this van out to the job. I'm going to be taking my pickup to get the dumper. So yeah, this is unfortunately going to be staying here just now. It is what it is. We'll have to maybe look at getting them on the insurance, but obviously being young, the cost implications is not nice, and my insurance is horrendous as it is. So to give you context, I pay about £14,000 in vehicle insurance per year. It went up from last year, probably largely to do with the accident I had with my Ranger. I wrote off the Ranger, unfortunately. No one else was involved, just me. And the young drivers on the policy, like myself, and the sort of lack of no claims and stuff. Yeah, is what it is. That's just something I've had to to swallow. A lot of young people message me about the sort of trying to get insurance and how do you work it. And I've paid an excessive amount of money for insurance since I started driving. It is just what it is. It's something you've just got to embrace. And like, it's either you don't insure the van, or you get the van, pay the money, and do the work. It just is what it is. It's not nice. It's not fun. One of those things you can't change. Insurance for young drivers is expensive, so just have to make it work. It will hopefully eventually start to come down as I get a bit older and stuff. But being the main policy holder and only being 22, insurers don't really like that. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit more in the office just now while the guys are heading off, and then I'm going to go pick up a dumper to start shifting the soil from that job. Soil, gravel, whatever. So I had a pretty productive Saturday. I got rid of that van that was in the yard, that big old green horrendous thing that I inherited when I took on this yard. And a part of the deal was I had to get rid of it. So that was onto the trailer and dropped off at the scrappies, where it is going to its final resting place. So one less thing in the yard. I also then picked up a pallet of sarking for this shed here to reclad some of the big shed. Got my mate Mark coming in to do that, who is a joiner, so a little homer for him. If I haven't already said what my plans are going to be for the shed over here, I'm going to be turning that into a bit of a sort of locker room slash sort of dry store for the guys, somewhere where they can hang up their jackets, boots and everything like that. Hopefully get some sort of drying system slash heater in there so they can leave their stuff in there overnight, and by the morning it should be dry, because there's nothing worse than coming in and wearing wet clothes. Yes, they could take it all home and stuff, but when you've got big dirty jackets and that, taking that back into the house isn't always great. So just a thought, we'll hopefully try and get something. It's there, it's there, and it's a shell, and we can, do it up. So that is the plan. Forever costing money, the yard. It's very difficult to be in the stage of wanting to go into profit mode and save some money and, build up a cushion in the back. But when you're constantly trying to develop something, this came along a good but a bad time. I could not develop it and save my money, but then I'm paying for it when it's not here, and we also need the space, so it's very difficult to find that balance of throwing money into it and saving it. I think I'm going to try and get it done, and then just be as frugal as I can towards the end of the year, and save up a bit of a reserve of cash. I'll see how that goes. So this is the stage we're at the job. Everything's pretty much scraped out. Got hiccups now for some reason. Got a massive pile of stuff to start moving here. To do with a bigger dumper, but we're going to start shifting it next door with that. Probably thought there was going to be a saving with not having to get rid of the material, but the time it's going to take to get it all down there, probably going to be 6.5 dozen really. This neighbour is going to be taking it because he wants to build up an area in his garden, so we've got to run it round, but only with the 1 ton dumper. It's going to be about 40 runs, 50 runs of it maybe. It's a ton dumper, but it doesn't mean you get a ton in it every time. So we'll see. Good shoot, man. Concrete dam. Oh wow. So that's the majority of the pile moved. I mean, well, all of that pile moved. A good few tonnage of stuff. We still need to give this a bit of a scrape down and get it down to the sort of finished height. But the majority of materials moved now. So I dropped a load of tyres off at the dump and picked up a load of soil as well. So just getting that in. We're not quite ready for it just now, but kind of needed to get it in the other side of where the sleeper is going to go, because we won't be able to get it in afterwards. And it's in my trailer anyway, so. Is that it? So line for the sleeper is dug. That'll be going in the ground to act as a retainer between the grass and the chips. The guys are getting the gate posts in. 2 wooden gates going back in there. There was obviously this metal gate that was there. Wooden gate to try and tie in with the rest of the fence. Should tie in nicely with the sleepers. We're also putting 2 raised sleeper beds in as well. Exact area to be confirmed, but they're going to be the length of a sleeper, 2.4 long by 1200. So yeah, a bit of planting for her as well. Had to take the height down here a little bit. We will need to add some soil, but the ground is relatively good. And the excess soil that we take from there, we will fill the planters with. I very nearly started moving it, but obviously we need to fill the planters, and that soil has got to come from somewhere. So yeah, it's the back broken out of it anyway. You're getting snapped tonight.
You won't be able to walk tomorrow morning, mate. Keep speaking. I'm saying 3-2 to us right now. I'm being generous. You have to get some goals.
How did you get on last night? What was the score? Broken man. Do you know what your problem is? You think you're like Maradona. It's raining. Morning guys, it is Tuesday. Another successful get up and go this morning. It is 13 minutes to 8 and the whole team is out. So that's what we want. We don't want to be eating into 8 o'clock there on after. Try and get to the job site for 8 and get a start. Good to see things are getting a bit more efficient amongst the chaos. Doesn't feel efficient sometimes, but it must be if we're getting out that early. Aaron and Kyle, Ed and Mole are out cutting grass today. So we've got the 2 beaver tails out doing the grass run. We could theoretically just get 1 van out doing the grass cutting, and then it would just keep them ticking over day to day, day to day. But what I don't want to do is make it boring for the guys. Unless you have 2 people who absolutely love cutting grass and want to do that all the time, then it's very difficult because you've got to find that balance. The grass cutting can get a bit tedious and repetitive, and if you're doing that week in, week out, then it isn't always fun. It's always nice to have a bit of a variety with your job, and I'm trying to give that as much as I can to the guys. So spreading the workload, they've got a couple of days grass cutting or a few days grass cutting at the start of the week, and then towards the end of the week we can get other things into the diary. It is very much a mixture, a right variety of stuff that we do here, and for the guys as well. One minute they'll be cutting grass, next minute they can be building a fence, but if they have specific things that they prefer doing, I will try and get them to do that, because you know, if you really enjoy doing something, you're probably going to do a better job of it, put a bit more effort into it, so it makes sense to try and prioritise giving you that sort of work. Anyway, I've got a little bit to do in the office before I head off, and then I will go out to the job where the guys are, yesterday's job, and push on with that. So Kyle, what are we up to?
At the moment, the glamorous job of weeding. But at least they come out quite easily.
Quite shallow rooted, are they?
Yeah.
And what's the day looking like for you?
fine. After this, more grass, just as long. This was that high. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And then off to cut around Dragon Pond. It's a pity you didn't get here to see. It was quite satisfying.
I had to cut it.
Yeah.
How many times did you cut it?
Twice, but I think I'll probably go over it.
Yeah,
again.
we'll once over at the end. Yeah, and just give it a general sort of tidy up.
It looks much nicer.
Ed is gracefully picking away here.
Gracefully, I don't know about gracefully.
Weeds.
Yeah.
So it's Wednesday, guys. We're in the quarry getting a load of material for the project that we're on. Wondering if Jim's going to understand my sign language. You've seen Kyle and Ed there. They are doing a few maintenance jobs today. Kyle is very much more the maintenance side of the business. After the sort of feedback and forums and discussions that we had earlier on in the year, Kyle very much made it clear that he prefers doing the maintenance, the more garden related plants, etc. So I made it one of my goals to try and accommodate him as much as I can with that. And to be honest with you, since then he hasn't really done anything sort of landscape related, fencing or driveways or stuff like that, because it's not really within his interest. So that was the whole point about the feedback forum, was to see what guys enjoyed, because I've spoken about this before. If I can try and accommodate what they want to do in the business, then they're going to have a much better working environment. So that's the idea behind that. So yeah, they are doing a few maintenance jobs today. Mole and Aaron are digging out some roots for a regular customer. And the rest of us are on this project. Been a little while since I had a wee chat in the car. Well, certainly haven't this week, I don't think. And I know you don't like me chatting and you'd rather see the action, but the whole point of the videos is to show you the ins and outs and explain things. And with that said, forgotten completely about what I was going to speak about. The temperature is on the rise again. That wasn't what I was going to speak about, but I've just noticed that it's 21 degrees. So it was a bit cold and wet the last couple of weeks, but the temperature is on the rise. And I think this weekend is supposed to be quite nice. So that is always good for just team spirit and morale. And it's just a lot nicer to complete jobs when it's sunny. So the grass cutting is going well. Guys are getting into a pretty good rhythm now. The start of the season always is a bit slow, and we're trying to figure out the schedule and what is the best way to do routes and certain things. And we've changed and tweaked little bits to try and make it as efficient and manageable as possible. One thing I didn't want to do was overload the grass cutting. It's very difficult to optimize a route, have it at semi-decent, profitable, and also not, asking too much of the guys. But then when someone else comes along and asks if we can cut their grass and it's on the same route as that, then we have to somehow accommodate that, and it often leads to us trying to squeeze that garden in. But what that does is it puts a time pressure on the guys, and if something goes wrong or something slows you down, or if you're longer on a customer's property for whatever reason, we've got some customers who like to talk quite a lot, and as much as I love talking with customers and building relationships, the guys, when they're cutting grass, are on such a tight schedule as such, because they've got other jobs to go to. It's not like you're going to the customer's garden for the day and they start speaking to you. The guys are going grass cutting, they're in and out, they've got more on their schedule to do, so we have to try and accommodate that. That being said, once you get into a rhythm of the grass cutting and you're doing it more frequently, you learn the gardens and the compound effect of like 5 minutes here and there that you're taking off of jobs. And it also depends on the length of the grass as well, because if it's short, you can whiz over it. If it's a little bit longer and wet, you've got to go over it a couple times to try and make sure it looks nice and neat, and often you're cutting vigorous growth. So the guys have been rattling through it pretty quickly, but like I mentioned the other day, is I don't want to overload one team of just grass cutting. Now if we just did grass cutting, then there's not really much we can do about that, and if we get busier, then it's just going to be one of those things. But I do want to try and keep the team happy and spread the workload. At the end of the day, they get paid to do regardless of what service they're doing. But I'm a big believer in the fact that you spend the majority of your time at work. If I can make work as enjoyable as possible, it's not all a fairy tale and like, oh, I love my work and stuff, and every day is great. A lot of it is perspective and mindset, but sometimes you just get a job that is just rubbish, right? It's just a job. It pays your bills, it pays the wages, right? You've just got to get on with it, and you've got to take the good with the bad. But ultimately, if you can come and enjoy and take pride in the work that you do, the standard's going to be better, the team morale is going to be better, the whole just atmosphere will be better. Whereas if you have someone coming to do something that they hate all the time, you've got to look at it from both aspects of like, are you in the right job? That's your responsibility. It's also your responsibility to come and do the work regardless, because you're getting paid. That's of course the thing to highlight, is that they're getting paid. But I think it's more than just your paycheck. And I've actually seen and heard studies and podcasts and stuff like that about people would rather go on a little bit less money and have a job and a boss that they prefer than chase money and have a working environment, because money isn't everything at the end of the day. It is very important, of course, and a lot of decisions are made by finances. So if you got a job offer there and the money you can't refuse, great. That's fair enough. I totally understand that, but this is just from what I've heard and seen. If you're getting all this money and you're not working in an environment that you enjoy and you can thrive in and you can expand and gain new skills and experiences, and I guess just progression in your career, then that money ultimately means nothing. I know people that are in well-paying jobs, but they hate their job, but they're tied by the money. So it's like, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I try and accommodate and pay the guys as best I can and what I think is fair. I wish the business was in a position where we had super high profit margins and we could afford to pay the team really well and high rates, but unfortunately, the cost of everything and just the industry, it's not an industry where you have mega big profit margins, certainly not like up here anyway. And that's with us being on the sort of higher end of the pricing scale. There's so much to pay for, there's all the kit to pay for, there's the yard to pay for and run and develop, and then there's also staff development, training, tickets. Then you've got to invest and repair machinery, tools, plant, mowers, trailers, chippers, you name it. There's so much stuff to accumulate in this industry, I guess. It's not just the case of, right, and I'm not undermining Sparkies at all, but like a Sparky, for example, has such a low barrier to entry, apart from their qualification, which I fully understand and appreciate. Being an electrician is, of course, a very skilled and, important job, but they don't need hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of kit to go and complete their job. They essentially need screwdriver snips and I don't know what, terms, I'm going to butcher the Sparky terms, but they don't need the same outlay as we need to go and turn a profit or go and make some money. So landscaping is such an underestimated trade, which I stand behind so much, because it is so physically demanding in the body. The machinery that you need to make life easier, make things efficient is significant. Just the list of machinery that you need per job. 2 seconds, here's Mo. Hi mate, no bad, yourselves? Cheers fella, bye bye. Sorry, I've been interrupted and now I'm on the job site. I've just dropped off the first layer of chips. I've got Gary coming in with his little lorry again to run in material, so we often use that little lorry because it's nice, nimble, versatile. They can get more than they can get on the trailer, and yeah, sometimes it's just better than me running this thing back and forth to the quarry. Depends how much we're using, so it'd be good to get this pushed on. Oh, I need to order some turf. Handy lorry.
Just get one.
You want to buy it?
I'll drive it.
Okay. Sleeper edge in, planters are in, need enough there. Good morning, we are at Don Valley getting some turf. So folks, I'm just on my way back, 20 minutes away from home. It's 10 to 10. I didn't get away as early as I'd like to. I was playing football last night. I was a little bit later to bed, so getting up sharp was a little more challenging than it usually is, but I was still away by 6 o'clock, give or take. I just had a phone call there, a new customer, and he was looking for some advice and just some help in the garden to make it a bit lower maintenance, and yeah, just to give it a sort of general tidy up and stuff. But what I need to do, which I haven't done yet, is to try and figure out where the leads come from and where people find us. But what he did say there is he's seen our vans working where they currently are just now. So it highlights the importance, I guess, of, and I've heard that quite a lot. I see your vans all around. I see your vans in the area. It highlights the importance of brand and image. A lot of people neglect that, and I guess it depends what you want from your business and how big you want to make it, etc., etc. But because I know a lot of people that will be busy enough without branding, without advertising and stuff like that. But if you're just working by yourself, word of mouth is enough usually to give you enough work for yourself. But when you've got more teams, when you've got more staff, you really need to build that brand and that image so people see you, they know who you are, and yeah, they come to you. It was just interesting to know that, yeah, I've seen your vans around, and he's obviously either taken the numbers off the van or he's Googled the name of the business. So another potential customer, another potential revenue stream, and yeah, not a bad start to Thursday. I don't mind the driving. It does get a bit tedious sometimes, and you do get a bit tired and sluggish if you haven't been doing anything sort of physical. So I'm getting a bit agitated. I need to get back and walk the dogs, actually, because I left so early this morning. I didn't get the dogs out. Nobody's home, so I better go and do that. And I guess that's the beauty of having your own business, is the ability to go and do that. Kyle and Ed are working on one of our commercial sites today, spending the day there to try and tidy up the surrounds, the curb edges and stuff like that, just sort of general maintenance, weeding, to improve the aesthetics of the site. And the rest of the team are on the project. We're trying to get a big push on with that today. Yeah, I haven't heard from Damien or that this morning, apart from early doors about who's picking up who and stuff, but I just said, Damien, you organise it, and I haven't heard a thing, so it is only 10 o'clock, right enough, but hopefully they're cracking on with that. I've got the turf here. We've now got to lay some slabs on the job. Client would like 4 3x2 slabs down in front of our shed, just as a bit of like a landing zone. We had to dig the soil out. The guys have got a load of type 1 in the trailer, and they are putting in a base, and we're going to try and get those slabs down today, because until the slabs are down, we can't put the turf in. The soil is there. We need to spread the soil. We need to we need to get another load of chips, but we need to spread the load of chips that are there and then get another trailer load. Then we need to hang the gates, lay the turf, finishing touches, and we should be done there. But it is lining up to be another warm day. It is currently 21 degrees at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I'd imagine the temperatures are going to get really warm later on. And that's why I'm in my shorts today, because yesterday was a struggle at certain times in the heat. Compared to Dubai, it is absolutely nothing. And I did tell myself I'm not going to complain about the heat back here. I'm not complaining, but you just got to keep hydrated and try and keep as cool as you can. Because we're just not climatized to it, really. We're just not. Some people love it. I do like the heat. Of course I like it. But when you're working in it and doing manual labour, then yeah, it can be quite exhausting. Tomorrow, the guys will be heading back to the distillery, the area that they've been digging out and getting ready for planting. The soil, basically, around the whole distillery is pretty poor. It's tired. It's been there for years and years and years. There's been nothing added to it. So it needs some topping up, essentially. So the distillery have got a couple loads of topsoil in. We're going to build up the bed to the left-hand side of the building, get a good layer of topsoil in so that it can leach down into what's there and sort of add a bit of nutrients to the soil, and then we are eventually going to be planting in there. We're going to be getting some heathers and yeah, making that area nice again. It's quite a prestigious building and site, so it is a great one for the portfolio, a great one to have on board, and yeah, very grateful to be able to have the sites like that as a client who value the grounds and they want to improve the aesthetics and stuff like that, and we can get creative with it, and it's a major part of the garden. So it'll be cool to get it all planted up and hopefully see how it develops over time. We've got some topiary to replace as well. So just ongoing things that we have to do and to try and enhance and preserve what is there, because it is a listed building. All the topiary has to be maintained and either replaced if broken or dead. It's a great one to have on board, really. We're trying to spend more time there to try and care for it a bit more, keep the place tidy and presentable, because if it's not, it's our name at the end of the day, so keep on top of these things. Anyway, I will stop speaking now and I will see you shortly. Half a tank of fuel between going there and going back. This thing is a wonderful pickup. Wow, it's gutsy. Just pulled on site to see Kyle and Ed. This is a site that we cut on a regular basis, which is looking quite good. But as you can see, there's quite a lot of weeds and stuff right the way around the building. This building's not being used at the moment. The guys started being thorough with the sort of weeding and stuff, but there's no point in being, you know, overly cautious with that, because you could spend hours and hours and hours and you'd only get so far. So Ed's just going along tidying up the edge, and then they're going to spray the rest and then try and trim as much of the slabs and everything, digging away the edges that are very overgrown, as you can see. Kyle's doing a wonderful job.
Getting there.
Is it hard going?
No, parts of it.
Parts of it.
This type of grass is quite difficult.
It's like thick rooted, isn't it?
Like it just all it's one piece. You gotta like push it off first before you get under it. Where some parts
It's quite satisfying, but
Yeah,
there is a
yeah.
lot of it.
but I've already come all the way around.
I know, I've seen it all day. Oh, it's good.
Too far to go.
I wish I got it on camera, but the guy surprised me with a wee birthday cake. I came to site. I've not seen them obviously this morning, but came to site and they're like, oh, they've broken the wall around here. I'm like, what wall? Walked around in here. Here's Damien holding the cake. So that was really nice of them. Really appreciated that, to be honest. But again, I'm fine at the job, making good progress, getting the finishing touches and turf's going down. We need another load or so of gravel. Damien and Aaron are getting the gates on, just getting the final preparations of the soil. Now, guys, 23. We've got a bit of a dilemma. Well, I've got a dilemma right in this moment in time because I don't know what to call the series that we have on YouTube. It's Diary of a 22-year-old business owner, a landscape business owner. I'm not 22 now, so I need to change it up, and I need to change it for something a bit more future-proof. When I was 21, it was 21-year-old business owner, 22, and I can't just continue on doing my age because every year it's going to change. I guess that would be quite cool because maybe I do change it to 23-year-old. And as the years go on, because then it would highlight what age I was at that point in business. Maybe I'll stick with that. Worthing in England. Hello, Ben speaking.
Hi, is that Morrison Lawn Landscape?
Yes, it is. How can I help? Cheers, bye-bye. An MOD property on the same street as me for some reason. I'm trying to rack on my head what street that is. Looking for regular maintenance. We shall go and have a look. What was I saying? The series name. Well, by the time you see this video, it will probably have changed. So whatever it is, that'll be what it's called now. But yes, 23 years old, another year older, another year wiser to the ins and outs of life and running a business. And for the better, I'd say. Gillian's phoning me. Hi, Gil.
Hi, quick question.
Okay, thank you. Cheers. I forgot what I was going to say. Another year wiser to the ins and outs of running a business and people, how people are, how people act, and yeah, all the positives and negatives that come along with it. So, as I said earlier, the guys surprised me with a birthday cake, and I was, genuinely was quite chuffed to get that from them. You know, shows a bit of appreciation, and it was nice to, see that appreciation. I guess like I harp on so much about your appreciation for your employees, but it's also nice to have appreciation from them as well. I feel like I've been quite selfless in the fact of like giving and giving and giving, in terms of like, you know, how the environment they work in and stuff like that, and all this sort of stuff I've harped on about employees looking after them, blah blah blah, which is really important, but almost forgetting the fact that they need to look after you too. You know, it's definitely a mutual thing. So to get that from the guys, they all amazingly sang happy birthday. Yeah, was quite a nice, humbling feeling. So thank you to the guys here. Much appreciated. I stopped in by to see Kyle and that again. They're making good progress. Just told them to make sure they've got enough time to tidy up because there's quite a lot of mess. And yeah, they're making good progress there. It is absolutely roasting. I dropped Jaeger off at home because it was his feeding time. So I'm back on my Todd and I've got a load of chips to start going in. Who bought it?
Happy birthday.
Cheers, like.
Take a guess who bought it. I can't drive the vans.
You.
Nah.
I wish it was me.
Adam.
No.
Someone, is he not here?
Oh, he's
Mo.
right here.
Was it you?
Aye.
I thought I said you. Sorry.
It's alright, man. I know where I stand now, man.
Until Ben sits on it, man.
Thanks for the cake, Mo.
That's alright, man.
Good lad. You should know better.
What?
Safety first, bud. So guys, it's a Friday evening. We're wrapping it up in the yard. The guys have just left 10 minutes ago and I'm just getting ready to go myself. Feeling pretty overwhelmed in a good way, I guess. A lot going on. It's been a super busy week and I am grateful for all the team's effort, trying to juggle it all, answer so many different questions and make decisions. And to be honest, the yard overwhelms me because I've got that much to do. This is still in development in here. I'm not going to show you too much, but yeah, there's always just so much to do. And today I've just felt like overstimulated or something. I don't know what it is. Going out for dinner tonight to celebrate my birthday, which was yesterday, and hopefully time to relax. But I will be in here tomorrow to try and further get on top of things and push on with this as much as I can. Maybe do a couple of dump runs, fuel up for next week, get organised, try and get some job quotes out and stuff. Hopefully get power back into the shed. And it's been a busy but very successful week. So, and once again, thanks to all the effort from the guys. The weather being half decent has been pretty good. Managed to go and wash my pickup, so it is looking relatively clean. The van got a wash as well, and I'll maybe wash the crafter that's in the yard tomorrow as well. So quite like to take Saturdays just to sort of reset and spend a bit of time by myself in the yard. If there's jobs on, of course we'll go and do that if we need to get it pushed on and finished. But yeah, I've got a lot to do here. It is overwhelming, but you've just got to take it piece by piece and it will come together. Getting that van away last week was obviously a godsend. It will get there. We're making progress. So thank you very much for tuning in to another week. We hope to see you again next week. Peace.